Welcome back to the processing course. This week we're going to cover 3 different topics. First, strings and typography, then images, and then how to make repeating patterns. Our first topic is strings and typography. In order to show type in your sketch, you'll first prepare a special file to hold the typeface. From then on, anytime you want to show text, processing will copy the characters out of that file and onto the screen. You can easily control the size of your text, as well as its color, font, and so on. You can even set your text in different ways, like with a word processor, controlling things like the size of your text or the space between lines. You can even show your text in a box, and it will automatically wrap to a new line when the text hits the side of the box. You can enlarge your text to any size, but if it starts to look bad, you'll want to switch to another of your pre-saved files so the text looks good again. Text is just like any other visible object, so you can apply scaling and rotation and other operations to it over time. Strings are a new data type that let us store a sequence of characters. By mixing and matching strings, you can create an endless number of random fortune cookies. Placing your text in a transformed rectangle and animating it over time lets you create a mob of signs in a peaceful protest. You can control every letter of your text individually. You can even transform each character independently of all the others. This lets you put every letter exactly where you want it, or you can allow the letters to move around randomly. Here's an interactive piece where each letter you type on the keyboard falls down the screen along a wiggly but unpredictable path. You can put your characters onto a simple path and move them around the path from frame to frame. You can even create any kind of curve and place your text right on the curve. By moving the position of each character over time, your text can appear to be moving along the curve. Our second topic is images. This lets us include photos and drawings in our sketches. It's easy to show a photo on the screen. It's also easy to control its size, both horizontally and vertically. Here I'm pulling around the lower right corner using the mouse. You can also use the mouse to control the size or rotation of an image. Images are just like any other object, so you can transform them any way you like. Here I'm using the mouse to rotate and scale all these pictures at the same time. You can create lots of interesting effects by reading and writing the pixels of an image. You can make the image appear to drip like it had been left out in the rain. Or you can make it fuzzier and fuzzier, like you were looking at it through a piece of textured glass. Basic pixel operations are easy, but they can get slow if you do a lot of them. You can go faster by using a special array of pixels, and we'll see the technique for doing that. Then you can create arbitrary patterns of colors on the screen and even move them over time. You can create a lot of cool effects, like this one that scales down the picture around the mouse. Or this one that sort of looks like the image is on a torn or crumpled piece of paper. You can make the image look like it's been left out in the rain, or even give it a kind of quilted effect. You can move around big chunks of a picture too. Here I'm randomly copying rectangles of the image from one place to another, overwriting the image with random rectangles over and over again. Because every pixel has both an X and a Y value, it's often convenient to use a special built-in object in processing for representing a point. You can take a couple of these points and change their values over time to create a random set of nested boxes, or with a minor change, create some random ellipses. With an array of these points, you can even draw something that looks something like a set of waves. Just by using more arrays, you can draw more waves. Finally, we'll look at how to create and use repeating patterns to control your sketch over time. We'll look at a variety of visualizations to see what kind of visual impression we get from each pattern. You can use repeating patterns to control anything on the screen, from an object's position and size to its color or its rotation. You can even change the contents of a text string, or its size, or even the typeface in which it's displayed. We'll look at a handful of basic patterns that you can then use as a starting point for your own designs. By the end of this week, you'll be in total control of strings, typography, and images. And you'll be able to create and use repeating patterns to help make your sketches even more lively and dynamic.